Today's experience is really incredible, and it contains precise information about those who have had plastic surgery on their face. It's a former pastor who sent this letter, and we're going to listen to him. Now at night I prayed and went to bed. I could not breathe because of a sudden and severe pain in my chest. I was start-led to find myself lying on my body on the bed. Suddenly I was covered with light and my soul disappeared. I realized I was in a dark place, and that light stayed with me and illuminated the surroundings. Someone said, "Be ready to receive revelations. Just follow that light." When that light first appeared, I passed a sign that said, "Idolatry." There the pagans were categorized according to certain habits. It worried me that in churches they worshipped Christian pictures instead of Catholic pictures. I witnessed believers worshipping their preachers in another layer. I observed soccer players and artists idolaters. I moved to another compartment and saw soccer club worshippers and a huge soccer ball. I witnessed fans of bands, actresses, singers, and celebrities. I observed people worshipping money and sacred objects. Until I came to image worshippers, I observed a pastor who was there to honor his wife. I observed a Christian woman who, out of deep love for her husband, gave up following Jesus to live for him. Everything you can idolize was present as I walked out of this establishment. I spotted a man and a woman who were Christian parents showing preference to their kids and encouraging envy on of their children, received superior treatment than the other. The abandoned child was raised with a great deal of animosity as a result of this, inciting rebellion in his heart. I followed the light and found myself in an area inhabited only by birdmen. Both male and female bodybuilders belonged. Demons were tearing their bodies apart with their knives, pulling out their muscles. I had no idea what this enlightenment meant. A voice said to me, "They were created in my image, but they preferred to have the deformed image of Satan in hell." I witnessed athletes and bodybuilders as well as WWE and UFC fighters. As I strolled on, I noticed ladies who had silicone applied to their face, arms, buttocks, and breasts because they had ingested too much plastic. The demons referred to them as their dolls. The demons discovered that they had given themselves silicone injections. The demon replied, "These silicons are ours, and we're going to take them out of their bodies." These women were plastic surgery patients. They had undergone facial plastic surgery, liposuction, and stomach reduction. Once they reach hell, the devil operate on them, disfiguring every part of their bodies. Any aesthetic procedure performed on the body, including plastic surgery, deforms the image of God. A voice remarked, "They reject the way he made them." I kept on moving through hell and hell. As skin creams and shampoos, men on earth would be tempted by the aroma emanating from women who applied those treatments to their bodies. The chemicals in the shampoo would seep into the hair and brain during the time it was on the head, altering mental functions. Then I witnessed a woman wearing perfume in a church, and as smoldering black smoke emanated from her body, it got into people's noses. Consider Isaiah 3:24, "And it shall come to pass that, instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink, and instead of a gird larent, and instead of well saith their baldness, and instead of a stomach caragering of sackcloth and burning instead of beauty." The smell tempted many a man. He saw the devil of seduction holding a glass. He cracked open the bottle, and my nose was shit by an awful smell that escaped. I developed feelings for that devil. That smell, which appeared as black smoke, entranced me, but the hypnotic effect was quickly nullified by the light nearby. The rear, a lot of seductive scents in hell. I observed sensual Christian women wearing short skirts and waxing their legs. The flesh of their legs was torn by the devil. Safe male caught my sight and raised hairy eyebrows. Hairy eyes were ripped out by the demons. The voice told me she changed my image of her. Oh, whoa. Man's attractiveness is altered when she raise hairy eyebrows. Is all Christian male shave their legs and breasts and elevate their eyebrows. "You have done my will there on earth," whispered an eminent devil. It tormented the man. I visited the location where I saw shepherds who were deceitful men of God. They preached the untruth at the end of their lives. Having started out proclaiming the truth, they altered the doctrines so as to keep members from leaving. They are in hell and have masked the obvious biblical beliefs on sin. I saw electronic voting devices of my cho. In a section of hell, where the light took me. One candidate's votes were stuffed into the voting boxes. Every poll has a picture with it. All the polls are rigged. The only people who win the election are those who form packs. One voice declared, "Who will lead this country has already been chosen by Satan." I noticed the picture of George Bush. When I looked at the polls, he was elected 2 years after I was raptured. I heard someone say, "Remind the church not to demonstrate against the governors despite their unfairness. The rebellion is a witchcraft." In an assent by Satan requests that the church pray exclusively for governors. I not desire political behavior from my servants. The government corrupts the hearts of my servants and takes them away from me. My followers are not involved in politics and have given up on the world. Politics is the delusion of Satan in which he rules all plans and regulations. I was given this insight, and I use the Bible to demonstrate that there is no concept in the New Testament that permits a Christian to hold public office. As soon as the people started to hail Jesus, asking, he was the first to reject the government, nor did the 12 disciples engage in political activity. Paul the Apostle deserted the Pharisee political party as well to work for Jesus. The Old Testament does not applicable to the story of Joseph and Daniel. Despite the fact that many Christians aspire to be politicians, you will go to hell as a result. I witnessed the divorce devil in hell. I thought back to my wife and my life. Even though our marriage was failing, the church continued to oppress, be disfavoring us with advice, and Helidim attempted to stab me with a spear, but the light next to me kept him at bay. I was taken out of that location by the light, and it carried me to the skis where I first saw Jesus, my servant. It was my voice that spoke to you in hell. The speaker declared, let the world see what you witnessed. Now recognized as my shepherd, put your wife first in your married life and focus on my work. My wife and I continued to sleep in different bed. 7 After my soul returned to the body. Evento we share a bed, we weren't close to one another. In the center of the bed space lay a demonit, which who gave my wife a not appearance as his wife. I saw this demon near my husband. Aldo says, my wife, we were having a lot of disagreements and conflict in our family because we could not get along. I observed a devil affixed to the house's roof and another in the restroom. The Holy Spirit moved my heart to make amends and plead for my husband forgiveness, but it was insufficient to drive the devils out of her home. My spouses slept shirtless in shorts, while he slept in shorts, and ever our room was invaded by Adam and Webb experienced bad dreams. The monster never showed up again, and we were made to sleep looking presentable. Praying while nearly nude is pointless, since God is holy and disgraced by nudity. You may consider skimpy apparel to be normal, but God it is nudity. My spouse and I reconciled. I was obsessed by the sin offending him. I had to set the record straight and tell him the truth about my divorce preparations, which he was unaware of. There were still traces of mistrusting our marriage. I couldn't stop wondering how he would respond. I summoned him over and told him what went wrong. He acknowledged his errors and expressed empathy towards me. Wave of leaf washed over you, so saw that weight lifted. I'm not perfect, but I will get better. I learned a lot, and like a smart woman, I won't make the same mistakes twice. This was an apprenticeship experience. The cultural ideals of a sinful society have an impact on us. The advice of women whose violence against their husband had an impact on her. My current task is to share the impact of a life that God has changed to appease my spouse. My preacher advised me to shave my eyebrows. I used to like to draw in and shave virtually all of my eyebrows. I was praying to God one day. God's angel visited my chamber and corrected me. I blamed my pastor for pushing me in this direction. The angel declared that I am accountable for my acts and that it was my fault in order to remove my eyebrows. My pastor did note, "Then take the razor away from me. You actin' independently of anyone when it come." Esta practicing sin. The angel declared, beware that event taught. The pastor stated that it is not a sin. They are not able to live your life or breathe on your behalf. When you appear before the white at the final judgment, he won't represent you when you are on trial. He cannot feel or tolerate your sorrows. Your life is owned by Jesus. It is preferable to obey God rather than others. Prior to this epiphany, I liked dressing my body in a tight, very short dress. It was a sensual red dress. I was preparing to attend the church service. That same red dress appeared to be that of Ad. Evil. He was changed to resemble me and was transfigured by my appearance. Your lipstick looks stunning on your lips. Sheer marked. Your dress color makes you look attractive. It is lovely. Don't ever remove your makeup. It's fantastic. It's seductive, and there's a sexual vibe to that outfit. I screamed my friend, and the devil vanished. My spouse came running to find out what had transpired. I informed him about the event. She claimed to have already advised me to give up my conceit, but I lacked the willpower. We attended church. I refrained from removing the dress. Every man stopped and gave me questioning glance as I went by the street. They appeared enthralled. I had never experienced this before. I had never worn that outfit before, and everywhere I went, people seemed to be enchanted by it. For the first time, I experienced the power of a queen. Despite having a broken heart, I promised to give up my outfit when I arrived home because he did not want me to spread the evil to others. My spouse told me to burn it to emerge from the dress when I threw it into the fire. In woman who wears it is imbued with an air of sensuality. Sensuality was what gave me the impression that I was a strong woman. Our pastor's liberal outlook led to my spouse's starting his own ministry. When I was able to give up vanity when I prayed, revelations were already coming to me. I gave up vanity, but I still had a large assortment of worldly clothes in my wardrobe. Got to your wardrobins. Word Jesus. I when at my maidservant claims she is freed from sensuality and vanity. Here marked, Lord, I'm well groomed. As that I hide my embarrassment. Every memory of the past is in your houses. At Jesus, your history is still fresh in your memory. Satan resurrects memories from the past, satisfies your cravings, and causes you to trip and fall. You remembered the ancient being. You still haven't gotten rid of those items. I find it offensive that you still own skimpy swimsuits and sultry clothing. There are many skirts, lipsticks, bracelets, necklaces, and earrings. Yet, the outside world is still connected to you, since you haven't given up on the world entirely. The devils will take advantage of your vulnerability even in bad things you continue to use and retain. You're still really focused on these things. I'll evaluate your heart. Old things will die, according to what I've said. Look, everything is brand new. You must depart from this real and reincarnate as a different creature. If you desire to reside in paradise, purify yourself even more. I mentioned Sister Dolores' name. She had nice clothes and a broad garment giving her a Muslim appearances. She's a wonderful servant of God, I said to the Lord. You've responded. Tanisha may seem calm at the outside, but her heart is full of bitterness. Here marked, she despises her husband to the core of her being since he left there. Her attire conceals this woman's true nature. Note all that glitters is made of gold. This insight that Jesus gave me scared me. Jesus gave me the names of various demonic apparel companies that teamed up with Satan to sell to everyone on the planet, and demonic legion invaded the clothes after they were dedicated to the devil. The clothing exuded an evil aura that persuaded everyone to purchase it, and the owner profited greatly from the sale. People were hypnotized to purchase these satanic consecrated clothing. I dedicated my crimson dress that I burned to the devil. When my dress was being colored, the Lord Jesus appeared to me and showed me the owner of the business stabbing his hand and spilling blood. Together, my husband and our content, we have grown our marriage like a garden over time. Every action we took involved communication between us. Aldo goes on. My wife also had this experience in addition to my rapture to hellfire. I refrained from discussing work-related academic and personal undertakings. I talked to her about the two of us, and we decided to go somewhere else for the day. We invited the church to join you since celebrating 3 years of marriage. Birthdays are always remembered, and we celebrate. I started praising my wife, something I hadn't done in the previous 2 years. We discovered how to appreciate who, where, and this amazing planet that God made. We want to learn about additional locations with breathtaking scenery. God has changed our lives, and for that we're grateful. Money is not the source of happiness. Christus, who is responsible for living a good life. You are our priorities, our God's work, and our next marriage, both careers and life. Pursuits come to an end. Everything in this world is temporary, but life passes very quickly. So follow, go. This way, appreciate everything you have, including your family, your children, and your spouse. All these are a divine gift. If you believe in Jesus, share this video with 10 other believers and watch our other videos on the screen.